Hello, I'm Bethany Prettyman, and we are going to be talking about weathering. Weathering is the physical breakdown and chemical alteration of rocks, and it happens all around us, but it seems like such a slow and subtle process that it's easy to forget its importance. Weathering is a basic part of the rock cycle and plays a key piece in the Earth's system. The first thing we're going to talk about is mechanical weathering. This is disintegration of the rock. So the rock is broken into smaller pieces, which get smaller and smaller, but they retain the characteristics of the original material. This is caused in many different ways, such as frost wedging, salt crystal growth, sheeting, and biological activity. But for now, I wanted to demonstrate frost wedging. So as we know, liquid expands when it freezes, and this happens in rocks all the time. We get water in cracks, and then it freezes, and it expands. And this is perfectly demonstrated by an egg. So this is just a regular egg, but I took a different egg and put it in the freezer. And as you can see, the shell has cracked because the water inside expanded. And this is exactly what happens with rocks. It causes the rocks to break apart and to disintegrate. The other type of weathering that is most common is chemical weathering. Now this is decomposition. So the rock breaks down into component elements or simpler parts. Basically, this is the erosion of rocks, building materials, etc., caused by chemical reactions instead of other mechanical processes. Again, water is a very key component in this process. When carbon dioxide dissolves in water, it forms carbonic acid, which is a weak acid, and this breaks down rocks. I wanted to demonstrate this using baking soda and vinegar. Now we're going to pretend that these clumps of baking soda are our rocks, and that this vinegar is acid rain or another form of acid. As you can see, when it's poured on the rock disintegrates and has a decomposition that happens here. Now, if we allowed this to dry out, I've gone ahead and done this for us, then we see that the form has changed, and we have these different components here. It's a more solid and breakable element, but you can still see some of the components that existed, but they're in a different form. And those are the two main forms of weathering that we see in our world today. I hope you learned something.